first one of this is called questions. I believe questions are very powerful. They direct what we're focusing on at any time. So if I'm playing a passage of something, you know, something like this, and okay, all the notes were there, okay, sounds cool. But if I don't ask a question, where I am, I'm not gonna get to the next level. You guys have any ideas for questions that I could ask myself after playing something like this?
How's my posture?
How's my posture? Okay, could be, okay, well, how's my posture? Okay, great, fix my posture, because by asking the question, you immediately answer it, even if you don't have the answer, because your brain looks for answers all the time. So that's one question you could ask. More questions, what else could I ask?
How is the phrasing?
How is the phrasing? Great, nice. How is the phrasing is going to give me some answers about how it is, but we are looking for improvements, right? It's like how is my posture is the same thing, how things it is. If you're looking for improvements, what kinds of questions should we ask ourselves? So how can I improve my phrasing? And then I'm going to have, okay, some answers. So in your opinion, what could I do to improve my phrasing?
In different ways.
Okay, be specific. What way?
A certain passage in the song.
This passage that I just played. I'll play one more time. That's it. How can I improve my phrasing?
I would listen to somebody who I really like and see how they play.
Okay, that's good. So I could do some research. But if I'm practicing, you know, I don't have the time to do research. From the experience that you guys have, what would you say that would be better?
Add some more dynamics.
More dynamics? Okay.
Accent different parts.
Okay, add more accent as well. How specifically?
Like loud and softness.
Where?
You
see, no, I'm picking on you because the answers, the questions have to be specific. The more specific we are, the better, you know. So maybe I can say, you know, I can make a little bit in the beginning, do a little soft, loud, go soft, then do a crescendo here, and a vibrato or something. Right? So then we get to the technique. But the technique doesn't happen first. What happens first is the question. The question is like a portal. It opens many possibilities. So what other questions could I ask myself? Let me focus here a little bit more. Talking about asking questions and asking ourselves questions. So I'm playing, when I play here, I ask myself, okay, how can I improve this? Okay, and the first thing that comes into mind, it's like the phrasing, great, I'll make the phrasing better. Then I finish, okay, what else can I improve? Okay, the tone, okay, great. Okay, what else can I improve? Always lots and lots of these kinds of questions. Then my practicing time, I use the time very effectively in this way. I don't keep playing and hope for the best that things are going to work. I keep asking questions. And even if I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to improve the sounds, I don't know how to make the dynamic, I just use my instinct, my creative side, as the gentleman there said, you know, and I just do anything to do that. You know, and if I don't know, I'm going to use the resource, I'm going to ask a professor to tell me the technique. But again, we're talking about the general thing. You know, the questions are the things, and people don't ask themselves questions. You know, people, they just keep playing, it's cool, it's nice. But if you never ask, can it get better? It will never be. You gotta ask. Yes?
What about using imagery? You could ask yourself, what is the best possible version of this passage that I can imagine?
What an awesome question to ask.
Rise up to that.
Great question. Great question. So the creativity that you said, we can use about creating questions as well. You know? Or a question, a great question also, is like, how would I perform this passage if Sergio and Odaira started were in front of me right now? I'm sure that would change the way you play. In so many ways, that much more if you said, no, I have to change the phrasing, I have to change the tempo, I have to change, because instead of thinking about those little things, we think about the question, and the question brings all these little things together. So if I was playing for Sergio, well, I would have a different posture automatically. I would, you know, I would close my eyes probably, and I would feel more, you know. But you see, I already changed 3 things all at the same time, just by one posture. So this is why I think it's powerful stuff.
It seems like it's easier to talk about all the specific things you want to change when you're talking about just a short passage like you're doing. But what about when you're playing a whole piece? Because obviously you have to practice it all the way through sometimes. Do you still ask yourself all these specific questions?
So that creates, sometimes I do like general questions. For example, is the piece at my level? That's a question I ask. It's below my level? Great, it's below my level. Okay, how can I make it to my standards? The pieces in general. And then I play one more time, the entire piece, and if you see it's a little better. If it's not better, okay, so I ask, okay, what specifically is not making that possible? So I can fix that. And I'm very systematic about this. This is one way, I'm saying guys, there are many ways of practicing. This is just one way. So one day I feel like question, I'm the question guy, and I question everything. Another day I'll do other stuff that I'm gonna say. So don't think that I just do this. It's just one workout. It's like working on your biceps only. There's a bunch of other muscles you have to work in your body. So by rotating these specific practicing techniques, you never get bored of playing. You know, because we have to practice every day for many hours. So if you have just one approach, you're gonna get really bored. So I rotate those things. I have a bunch of those, and the questions is one of them. So to answer your question, I do general questions for sure.
One thing is like focus on being comfortable, but not only the chords and the positions being comfortable, but making the phrasing comfortable to you, because that might relate to your own personal artistic view. Do you understand kind of?
Yes.
Like making that phrase comfortable in your manner.
I like that. So what question could you use to make yourself feel comfortable?
Well, like dynamics and phrasing.
No, great. But let's get to the point. What question can you ask yourself to make yourself play the dynamics and everything in a comfortable way, according to what you believe the music should like?
Play it easy to yourself.
What question?
Make it easy for yourself.
Okay. You're looking for a question.
Yeah.
I'll help you out. Help you out. No, that's okay. It's great. It's great. You just, this is new stuff. You're just brainstorming. It's great. So a question that I ask myself generally is like, if I'm playing a passage that is too hard, I said, how can I play this passage very good, you know, in my standards, and feel comfortable while I play this? Or how can I, you know, how can I feel comfortable? Great. By asking this question, your body immediately like feels more comfortable. You can't help, because a question is going to be answered. What we have here in our heads is like a huge computer. Imagine that every question you ask yourself, you're typing this on Google. And the answer is going to come back to you, even if you're not consciously aware. But your body reacts in ways that's, you know, we are not aware, and we don't need to be aware. Because if we are aware, again, we're going to be walking like robots.
Do you have an example that happened to you, like this passage is really hard, and you ask yourself, how can I make this passage sound like my standards? Like an actual piece you play, and talk us through how do you solve this problem?
Sure. I do this all the time, but let's see. Maybe I should do this in real time. I'll try to. I'll play a passage, and if I see something, I play a little bit of a piece. If I see something that is not good, I'll stop and I'll do what I generally do. I imagine that I'm here by myself. Okay, easy to watch. Play. It's not on my level. Why is not on my level? Because the sound is happening, but I'm not feeling that comfortable. My fingers are not moving so smoothly. So the question is, how can I play this with my fingers running more smoothly? This is, for me, it's not only about the sound, but it's also how you feel, how comfortable you feel. So I'm not feeling comfortable. Sounding good, but I'm not feeling comfortable. So I said, okay, how can I feel more cold? One of the answers is slow down. Okay, slow down. And imagine that this part here is all connected to your body, to the arm and to this part here. Okay, so I have some answers. Okay, I can try that. So, feel better. Great. So, and then I play one more time. And then, okay, great. So let's see if it's there. It's a little better, but it's not there when I play fast. So the next step is another question. How can I feel the same way, but now playing fast? This will give you different answers. You know, that's how we think anyways. Thinking is nothing more than asking and answering questions. But we do it so fast that we are not aware of the questions we're asking. And sometimes the questions we ask are not the best questions for us. Are questions like, oh man, why is this sucking? Or why is this so bad, you know? And we're gonna come up with those answers. And you're not gonna improve because you're asking those lousy questions. So, more or less, is it going to? Okay, so concept number 1 was questions. So this is one of the practice skills.